All right, welcome to the Straight Red Card. This is part 2 of the Swiss / questions thing. So yeah, we lost 2-1, but now we come to your questions, and we got 3 questions in, and of course, Brett, they're probably all from the same guy again. Might be the same guy who tricked Pete.
Eric, are you posting these questions?
No,
No,
I swear
okay.
to God, I'm not.
Okay.
But I think it is the same guy who tricked Pete saying, "Ice, Wallow, come."
Ice Wallow.
Ice, Wallow, ice. Yeah. The word ice. Then we'll put it on
Wallow.
Wallow. I just like how Filippo reacted and just was laughing his ass off about that.
It's so different when you're reading it and you're just reading the comment that goes with it. You don't even notice it. But man, somebody who's on the show with you, or just all the people listening to you, they see it immediately, and you're just sitting there going, "What?" You don't realize it unless you're paying attention. Unless you're paying attention to it.
Yeah, I don't blame him for not realizing it either. He took it well.
Yeah.
But he didn't realize what he'd read. And I mean, it was a good one. It was a really good one. And what freaked me out a little bit is like some guy on the conversation on the right was like, Pete gets the straight red card. And I'm like, no, do not post that. That would like people be like, oh yeah, the straight red card.
Yeah, guys. Derek and I aren't creative enough to come up with all those names.
Oh, believe me, we could. We could definitely do it, but we would not.
But we wouldn't.
We're too old to be that childish. That's all I'm saying. I mean, we're pretty childish for being this old, but we're not that childish.
Nobody's going to believe you on that.
Oh, I hope they do, because I am not sabotaging anybody's show, not for $5.
Oh, come on. That's not sabotaging. That's humor.
You're right. It didn't sabotage the show. It actually is a really funny ending to the show. But I wish I could take credit for it, but I can't. Whoever that guy is,
I saw the wink there.
No, there's no wink. So it's the same guy that's been writing us with the funky names, and they're all different emails again, but they're all funny named, and maybe it's because we requested that they send us funny names.
Tell me that there are there any recurring emails?
No.
Like, could it be the same 3 emails, but they're different emails individually?
They're all different emails. Again, all different emails. I don't know how many burner accounts this guy's got. But like I said, it could be because we requested that everyone that sends us a question uses a funny name.
Absolutely.
And so here we are. I guess I'll get to the first one, which is from the Turd Burglar. Oh, God. All right. There are no bad words in that, so that's okay. Not like the last time when we had
you. Yeah.
Yep.
Burgle whatever you want to burgle.
This guy says, bring back Bob Bradley. Pretty sure Berhalter is awful. That's not even a question, Turd Burglar. That's just a comment. We were asking for questions. Bring back Bob Bradley. That's not happening. Bob Bradley has a very I don't know how you put it.
Doesn't like the USSF.
It's a sketchy relationship with the United States Soccer Federation. I mean, he has been quoted at a party in Chicago as saying, "I would never work for those bastards again," or something like that. He's done. He felt like he got in the ass when they hired Klinsmann behind his back. Mm-hmm. He wants nothing to do with U.S. soccer ever again. So that
seems to be a reoccurring theme there.
Yeah.
Klinsmann had some things to say too.
He did. Those U.S. soccer guys are a little sneaky. They're sneaky guys. Yeah. But I like Bob Bradley. I totally respect Bob Bradley, but I think it'd be more likely, and I'm with some of my other pundits on this as well. I think Jesse Marsh would have been the best choice. But it's too late.
I honestly don't think that Marsh would have taken it.
I don't think so. I think Marsh had bigger things in mind, and now he's got bigger things.
Maybe down the road. I mean, the guy is still young when it comes to managerial age, so he's got plenty of time to do that. Right now, he was coasting, with Salzburg. Now he's with Leipzig. There's no way. I don't think there's enough money that USSF could throw at him to make him come over.
Let me just put it this way. Berhalter is no Jurgen Lowe. He is not going to be managing this team for decades. It's not happening. So at some point, Jesse March will get his shot.
Yeah.
And he will be, or, I mean, there are other guys. We got Pellegrino Matarazzo at Stuttgart. We've got David Wagner. Not to say that they have to all have some sort of American background, but it helps. And so you know, it's possible. I think David Wagner's still out of Wagner. If you want to pronounce it the German way, he's still out of a job.
Yeah.
So, you know, there are other options. But listen, folks, Gregg is not getting fired anytime soon. We would have to be in the throes of not making the next World Cup before he gets fired. He's not going to get fired for not winning Nations League. He's not going to get fired for not winning Gold Cup. So just get over it. It's the way it is. And we're going to have to suck it up and deal with it just like you are. Okay? So
financially speaking, it's not going to happen.
It's just
and
not.
You could replace him, but you're probably not going to get much of anything better, if anything.
Well, so. I mean, you would get something better, I think, with Matarazzo and Wagner.
But again, financially speaking, I don't think the USSF has it. We just went through a year of no friendlies, no games, no nothing, no income. It's not going to happen. Berhalter's our coach for the cycle. We have to accept it.
I guess they could take a loan.
Not going to happen.
But yes, Brett's right. I'm right. Stop wasting your angst.
Don't get me wrong. I would prefer Bradley, but it is what it is.
Well, I'm just saying that's not happening either. So stop wasting your angst, people out there, on Berhalter. Accept the fact that he's going to be around for a while, and you're just going to have to deal with it. Posting all over Facebook and wherever else how bad he is fine. I get it, but it's not going to change reality. And reality is Berhalter is here for a while. We're going to have to majorly fuck up for him to not be the coach of this team. So, end of story there.
Even that, I don't think that's going to make a difference.
Well, when I say majorly up, I mean like the qualifying for the World Cup.
I guess, yeah, you know, like failing hardcore at the beginning, maybe.
No, we're going to have to be like at a tipping point where we're not going to qualify for the World Cup before he gets fired. Like we're on that razor's edge of not making it. Then he'll get fired. But other than that, Gregg is here for a while. So just suck it up, deal with it. I know it's difficult. I don't like it either sometimes, but I'm willing to give him a shot here in Nations League and see what happens. Not very promising based on the Swiss game, but, you know, I'm still here willing to see something happen. All right. Question number 2. And this is from Colonel Ingus. One of my favorite one of my favorite colonels from the Civil War. I think he was on the Confederate side.
Confederate side, yeah.
Yep. Colonel Ingus is
also an epic SNL skit.
He's good with the ladies.
Yeah.
All right. So his question is: Sergeant was awful. Quit defending him. That's not a question, Colonel Ingus. And then he says,
he's Southern. Give it to him. Give it to him.
He gets a question in. Wasn't it a big mistake to leave Dike off?
I can agree and disagree with him at the same time here.
Yeah, go for it.
Yes, leaving Dike off was a mistake. I think it would be great to have seen him in this game. I don't think Sargent was awful. I think he wasn't his best game by any means. He had some phenomenal plays mixed in with some soft, you fouled me's, and they had some hard first touches from time to time. But I thought he had a decent chance on goal, decent enough to where the keeper actually had to make a stretching save on it.
Yeah,
he had a couple nice layoffs. for Reyna at the end of the first half and the beginning of the second. Reyna even hit the post on that one. It could have easily have been an assist, and who knows where we would have been with that one if that was the case.
Yep.
But I don't think he played awful. I just don't think it was his best game. And I would have loved to have seen Dike come in early in the second half and got a chance because, like we mentioned in the Swiss recap, most of our top three were gassed like at the 60th minute.
Yep.
Okay, great. Give DK 30 plus minutes.
Yeah. Instead, he gave Siabitu 30 minutes, which is fine. Except Siabitu only made Sargent look way better because Sargent was doing a good job on the press. He came back and got the ball multiple times. Did he make mistakes? Sure, he did. Is he still the best striker we have? Probably, except I haven't seen DK play Switzerland yet, so I don't know. But DK does provide more options as far as if you do have to hoof the ball up or luft the ball up the field, you can do it with DK. He can bring it down off his chest, off his head, and get things rolling. Not that Sargent can't. I don't think he's as good as DK. But we don't play that way anyhow. Just ask Gregg. Gregg doesn't play like that. So there's not going to be...
Neither does Barnsley.
Gregg does not play Barnsley ball.
Yeah, sorry.
At all. There's no lufting and hoofing in Gregg's repertoire right now, which is a mistake because if the other team is playing a high line, there's an opportunity there for some hoofing and lufting.
There are definitely times where it's definitely times for you to play control and build up from the back, and there are times where you have to play a very direct game.
Yeah,
you just have to have it in your repertoire in order to make that change on an instant.
You've got to be able to recognize where the opportunities are, and if the other team is starting to play a high line and pressing your balls, you got to relieve your balls. You gotta, there's got to be some extra room in the trousers. And the only way to do that sometime is by playing a long ball on occasion. So, that didn't happen. Okay. Who we got next?
The whole releasing the balls in the ice, Wallow come. The whole thing is a full circle here.
Back to the ice, Wallow. Come.
Yeah.
It's what that sounds like, Ice Wallow. It sounds like this nice little ski resort. Ice Wallow. Come to Ice Wallow. And then, I think that the commercial would be Ice Wallow. Come, like come to Ice Wallow. But anyhow, that's the commercial, I imagine.
Must be in a country where English is their second language.
It's something like that. It's like when who are the guys that had who sold the hot cider? Oh, the Dickens brothers when they bought the cider company. You remember that when the Dickens brothers in Indianapolis?
No, but I feel like I didn't realize that was an actual cider.
Yeah, and their commercial was like. There's nothing better on a cold winter's day than a hot Dickens cider. And that was their whole commercial.
Oh, marketing geniuses. I swear to God. I mean, you realize that they knew what their last name was, and they were like, we got to go into the cider business. I swear to God.
The Dickens brothers, we got to buy a cider company.
It has to happen.
They had a whole slew of those on Indianapolis radio for years, and it would change. There would be like, there's nothing my girl enjoys more on a hot summer day than a hot Dickens cider. I mean, it went on endlessly, but this is back in the 90s. I don't think you can get away with that now. Yeah,
back in the day, X103 for those Indiana people used to play a fake commercial called Off a Cough. And when you say it out loud, it's fuck off.
Oh, okay.
So that was a fake commercial, which is a bit different, but the same mentality,
Well, these were fake commercials too, and I think they were done by Tom and what's the big guy?
Bob and Tom?
Bob and Tom. Yeah, back in the 80s and 90s. I think that's when that happened. and they would play these commercials, and you would think, "Oh, those are real commercials." No, they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll get on to the last question, and it is from Harry Balzac.
Ooh, Mr. Balzac.
Oh, Mr. Balzac, thank you for chiming in. He said the ESPN broadcast was late, not insightful, and boring as hell. Who would you pick? Twelman sucks. Okay.
ESPN didn't play soccer today. They played softball.
Yeah, and that's what he's criticizing. And there were people all over so on Facebook today, like, what the hell, man? What's the soccer game?
I was sitting there refreshing the ESPN app. Oh my god, the ESPN Plus app is driving me up a fucking wall at this point, because I go and I try to click on something and then it just sits there, acts like it's trying to load, and then stops trying to load. And then I've got to delete the app, reinstall the app, re-sign back in. Oh my god,
it's awful. It's awful.
I'm done with ESPN. We got Paramount Plus, and somebody else buy out the other rights. I don't care. Get rid of ESPN.
Well, we're probably not going to see that happen, but I do think that people should realize that the general rule on sports on air is that the game you started the broadcast with stays on the broadcast till it is over. And that is what called the Heidi rule. And that is because at one point, I can't remember what game it was. You might want to look this up, Brett. But the Heidi game was when I believe there was a very, very, very close game going on TV. But Heidi was scheduled to play on the network. And the teams were in overtime. And they just went to the Heidi thing. They're like, oh, sorry. We got to go to Heidi.
The Heidi game, or Heidi Bowl, is the name given to the 1968 American Football League game between the Oakland Raiders and New York Jets.
Okay. And it was cut off because Heidi was scheduled to play, I believe.
Yeah. I'm not going to branch off any further into the Wikipedia.
So the general rule is upset about the fact that ESPN was playing softball. Now, why they played that much? Like, ESPN is a big network. ESPN, right? They were a big network. I think they're losing ratings. But they used to have all kinds of myriad of really top-notch sports playing. And I'm not saying women's college softball isn't important. I'm just saying they have definitely ticked down, and they're doing a lot of like I think they do what's the game where you throw the sack at the board? Cornhole. They do all kinds of weird shit now. And so there's some other channels. It's like, dude, there are like real big events going on. You could cover those.
I remember back in the day, there was a USA game on like ESPNU or one of their side shoots, you know. But then on ESPN was like Scrabble, and then ESPN2 had something like a spelling bee on. And you're like, you couldn't have pushed Scrabble or the spelling bee over to ESPNU. Come on.
I know, but then again, you know, I don't think Scrabble or spelling bees are sports. But I mean, there's a sporting
competitions.
It's a competition, so there's a sporting element, but is it a sport? Well, that's another debate altogether.
Yeah.
The point is, if you had other opportunities, you could go to the ESPN app. You could have gone to TDUN, watched it in Spanish, which is what I did. So yeah, don't go crazy about that. It's women's softball. It has its own level of importance. Is this as important as a national team game? Probably not. So I get some of your complaints, but yeah, I mean, there are other options.
To the other point of the question, as far as commentators, love him or hate him, Tight Shirt is good for content, quite frankly.
Yeah,
he'll. I mean, even after his after game comments and stuff like that, everything is just good for content. You may dislike him during the game, what he's doing, and he can be dry at times, and he can be overzealous at times. But quite frankly, like I said, him and Lawless, I like them both because they're good for content, and I can talk. They will say something, and we can actually make a video about them specifically.
Yeah.
But Tight Shirt had a comment for the during the PK, the quote unquote PK. That the amazing handball that occurred against Dust.
Amazing.
It was phenomenal that it was called.
You mean the handball that was absolutely impossible to avoid?
The non-handball, yes, I agree.
It was not a handball.
Yeah, bullshit.
It was
bullshit.
The worst call. The dude had like 0.033 seconds guess to react to that. I mean,
yeah. Greatest part about that was that justice was served.
It was, thank God.
But anyways, so Tight Shirt made a comment. He basically stated how he's against those 1-2 step PKs. Like you take a step and you take the shot. He's like, you better be pinpoint accurate and have enough pace behind it. And I was looking at that. I go, that's exactly how I took all my PKs in high school. I mean, took one step and laced it into the side netting every single time. It's pretty simple.
I thought he was against the one step.
No, he is.
And
then he's like, I'm against it. I'm like, dude, no, that's totally my bread and butter. That's what I used to do.
You don't need 3 steps to take a free kick.
I would take one step and then place it into either side netting depending on where the goalkeeper is favoring.
You would think Twelman would know better.
And he made the comment. He's like, you can't make it if you with a 1-2 step. You can't make any adjustments. I'm like, well, you don't need to if you're going to place it properly. If you're going to take that 1-2 step, you better be placing it side netting wherever you're aiming at.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. And yet his co-host disagreed with him. He's like, yeah, there's this other guy who takes one step, scored 11 in a row. Twelman, you dumbass.
Like I said, great content.
Yeah, exactly. By the way. People should know, and I'll let Brett answer this. Yes, we have been calling him Tight Shirt Twelman for probably 12, 13 years.
Over a decade, yeah.
With a 6-year break. But yeah, we coined that phrase.
Oh, we still called him that during that 6-year break.
Yeah, I think you coined it though.
Oh, absolutely. I would being a Chicago fan that I am, I had to come up with something for Tight Shirt there. No,
but you're right, because back in the day, when they're starting to wear those really like those
kid smalls,
yeah, like that uniform would just like suck to his body. So we started calling him Tight Shirt Twelman, and well, we're bringing it back.
Bringing it back. People I don't know refer to him as that, I have to assume that at one point they've watched enough of our old stuff that they caught on to it, or somebody told them about that.
Back in 2008 or something weird like that. Because, I mean, we've been calling him Tight Shirt Twelman for years.
It's the equivalent of creating an urban legend, I did that. Yes, that's me, but I don't get any credit. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I need a Wikipedia page for just that.
We can work on that. But I think we are done. I think we're done here, though.
Well,
so until we get another email from like some guy named Dirty Danglers, we'll just be waiting here. But
also, hey, by the way, guys, again, we didn't mention this last video, but make sure you hit that, the like button.
Oh yeah,
subscribe to us and leave a comment because we love replying to you guys' comments.
And I always forget the like part. Like I'm like subscribe, tap it lightly, but I always forget to say like it because like it
helps us greatly.
It does, and we're not even asking for your money yet. All right, until the next time on the Straight Red Card, it is cocktail time. Good night.